Hi guys, Cousin Kinoko here with another video game collection video. This time I'm going to show you my Sega Saturn collection. I have 22 games for the system. I don't have too many games. I haven't played the system too much. I found a Sega Saturn on the flea market once. That's where I got my system first of all. I picked it up together with I think 4 or 5 games and a controller and also the wheel for the driving games, and I paid 35 euros for it. Thought it was a really good deal. Afterwards, I started doing some collecting for the Saturn, bought a lot of stuff on eBay, and in the end, it's quite a pricey system to collect for. I ended up spending quite a lot of money on the system. I picked up the memory expansion thing, the cartridge to put in the back. Also, this allows you to play import games. That one alone cost me, I think, 22 euros. And I also picked up a 3D controller and yeah, a lot of games. And even though some of the games are quite cheap, some of them are really getting pricey. So okay, so I'll take you through my collection. First off, there are some games missing here that I couldn't find them, but I have them somewhere. One of them is Tomb Raider, and yeah, I don't know, maybe something else as well. Yeah, Space Jam. Not really a game that I'm so into, so I don't really mind not having it available. Okay, so let's just start here. We have first off Robotica, Cybernation Revolt. This is a first-person shooter. Haven't played it much, so I can't really say much about it. We have Johnny Bazooka Tone. This is a 2.5D platformer. Amazing style, cool visuals. If I remember correctly, really nice soundtrack. I really like the style, but well, somehow the game it's not a lot of fun. It's a decent platformer, but nothing special. Now this is, I guess, one of my favorite games for the system actually, Dynamite Dynamite, or I think it's called Die Hard something in Europe and in the States. It's a really nice light gun shooter. It's really short, but it's really sweet. It's definitely worth getting. It's a lot of fun. Then we have some fighters. Virtua Fighter. Okay, there's one more thing that I don't have right now, but I also have the Virtua Fighter Mega Mix, which is, I think, some kind of remake with some extra features for Virtua Fighter. I guess a lot of you know Virtua Fighter. It hasn't aged too well, but it's a Sega classic, and I'm glad to have it for my Saturn collection. Then we have Fighting Vipers. Not a very good fighting game. It's really cheap. That's why I picked it up. I don't know how much I paid. Just probably like 4 or 5 euros on eBay. Not really worth it. If you're really into fighters, you could pick it up. This is a Japanese import. It was also released in PAL. And then we have 2 Street Fighter games here. Street Fighter Alpha, Warrior's Dream, and the Japanese import Street Fighter 02. This one was also released here in Europe, but I decided to get the Japanese import as it was quite a lot cheaper. And yeah, I mean, they're really great games, both of them. Definitely must own for the system. Yeah, great fighter games. Some shooters here. We have Darius 2, amazing spaceship shooter. It suffers a little bit from I think it was it's ported from the arcade, and I think in the arcade it had like a really widescreen format, or like a double screen or something like that, so they had to shrink it a lot for the Saturn version, so everything is really tiny, and on my little TV it's kind of hard to see what's going on, but still a good game. And then we have one of my favorites, Parodius Deluxe Pack. This one, it's kind of a compilation. I think it has 2 or 3 Parodius games, and they're pretty arcade perfect, so definitely worth getting. I think I paid a bit more than 20 euros for this, so it's a bit on the pricey side. And I think it was only released in Japan, so you have to import it as well. But yeah, definitely a must-own for the Sega Saturn. Then we have some racing games. These are two of the games that came with the system when I bought it at the flea market. And Sega Rally Championship and Daytona USA Championship Circuit Edition. And yeah, this is somehow an enhanced version of the original edition. I don't really know what's enhanced about it, but some kind of improvement going on there. Both, really nice racing games. I enjoy them a lot, and they're a lot of fun to play with the wheel as well. So yeah, worth picking up, I would say. Another racing game here. We have Destruction Derby. I would play this a lot when I was a teenager. I had it for my PC, and yeah, it was really amazing back then. It was a lot of fun, and it still is quite a lot of fun. I haven't really been playing it so much on my Saturn. It's a racing game where the main objective isn't to get first to the goal, but it's also to smash other people's cars. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think the PC version had better graphics, but this one still looks pretty good. One of the essential games on the Sega Saturn is Nights into Dreams. Yeah, a lot of people already know this game. I got it on eBay together with the 3D controller, and I think it's a big plus to have the 3D controller when playing this game. It's a lot of fun. It's really typical Sega quirky game. Some really absurd stuff going on. Crazy bosses. I don't think it's not an amazing game. I didn't play it back then. I only played it like first time I played it was probably 2 years ago or 1.5 years ago or something like that. So I can't really say how it would have been to play it back then. Maybe it was more impressive back then. I still think it's impressive, and it's a really nice game. It's just like not one of my favorites, but definitely a must-own for the Saturn. So also it's not too expensive. Puzzle game here, Baku Baku. This one came with the system as well. I like puzzle games, especially when they save your high score. I think this one saves the high score on the memory card, so that's really nice. A big plus for this game, it has really great visuals. I think it's really quirky, really nice. Some crazy animal characters, colorful graphics. This kind of early, late 90s 3D style of graphics that for me is really nostalgic. And yeah, it's a nice game, not too expensive, so you might as well pick it up if you're into puzzle games. Then we have Myst. I used to play this on the PC when it got out, and I was blown away by it. I thought the graphics were absolutely amazing. It was just so impressive back then, and the graphics take a hit on the Saturn. They had to simplify the graphics a bit. The interface is not as nice, playing with the Saturn controller instead of a mouse and a keyboard. It's a decent port. I would prefer playing it on the PC, of course, but I think it's nice to have it on the Saturn. It's quite an affordable game to get, so why not? Another fighter game here, XMen Children of the Atom. Also a very good fighter game on the Saturn. I also have Panzer Dragoon 1, but I don't know where I have it right now. I have 1 and 2, and both essential games for the Saturn, must-owns for the system if you have a Sega Saturn. On-rails shooters, they're really great, so definitely pick them up. They're not too cheap nowadays. I think the first one is a bit cheaper than the second. Can't really remember. I must have paid somewhere between 12 and 15 euros for this, I guess. So not ridiculously expensive for something, but a bit on the pricey side. Clockwork Night 2, another 2.5D platformer. I really like the style. It's really charming, and it's quite a lot of fun. I prefer this from Johnny Bazooka Tone. I haven't played the first one. Just got the second one here on eBay, and it's a really nice game. I would recommend it to everyone who likes platform games. Then we have Discworld. I used to play this a lot on PC when I was younger. I had this one and Discworld Noir, and they're quite nice point-and-click adventure games. They're getting quite expensive nowadays. They're released for both the Saturn and the PS1, and I also have Discworld 2 for the PS1. If you like point-and-click adventure games, then you can get this. Then we have real classic here, Bubble Bobble, and this one also comes with Rainbow Islands, which is Bubble Bobble 2 somehow, although it's nothing like it. Well, yeah, I think this is really great. Definitely worth having if you like Bubble Bobble. It's a pretty arcade perfect port, and Rainbow Islands is also a lot of fun, and you can play 2-player as well, of course, so really nice for the Saturn there. And finally this is my only NTSC game in my collection, Dark Savior. This is an action RPG. As far as I know, I think it's the sequel to Landstalker on the Mega Drive. I also have Landstalker. Both of the games I haven't really played them much yet. I was playing this for a little bit just to try it out, and it seems really nice. Definitely a game that I would like to play to the end at some point. So yeah, I was lucky enough to get this as a trade from a fellow YouTuber. So thanks for that, and look forward to getting into that some more. So that's it for my Sega Saturn collection. I hope you enjoyed watching, and until